with Daren.
Welcome back. Well done. High five.
Now let's blow bubble for show.
Okay. We're shooting today's episode in the rooftop pool of Fullerton Bay Hotel. And we're staying here for a few days for our wedding anniversary. You can see this iconic building on my top. That's the Marina Bay Sands. In this video, I'm going to talk about my net worth and plans for the future. Net worth is the sum of all our assets minus our liabilities. So let us begin. In Singapore, usually the biggest part of our net worth is our property. A few years ago, my wife and I were deciding between staying in public housing, HDB, or a condo where it has pools like this. And the price difference was pretty big. $1 million for a HDB, $1.5 million for a similar size condo. And so my pitch to my wife was, if we stayed in a HDB, that would be a family-funded trip to Japan for the rest of our lives because we love going to Japan. So we ultimately ended up buying a HDB. Of course, as you know, in the last 2 years, we couldn't travel to Japan because of COVID. So looking forward to going back to Japan again soon, hopefully next year when the borders reopen. Next, we've got stocks. I've got $620,000 in stocks, mostly invested in US equity market. And I recently took out a $70,000 investment loan and I bought Apple shares of them. You can see that in my previous video, linked right up here. So if I take $620,000 minus $70,000, that is $550,000 of net worth from stocks. Then I've got small amount, $5,000 in cryptocurrency. As I learn more about it, that will increase. Then I've got $50,000 in cash as liquidity and also the savings for a rainy day. Lastly, for retirement funds, I've got $290,000 in CPF, or we call it Central Provident Fund in Singapore. It's broken down into three parts. First is the ordinary account. I've got $130,000 there. In Singapore, we could use the amount in the ordinary account to pay for a housing loan. Then I've got a special account, which is $100,000. That amount can only be used when I retire. Lastly, there's $60,000 for the MediSave account, which is used for health care. All in, my net worth today is 1.3 million Sing dollars, or $1 million US. As I think about planning for the future, I believe that growing your wealth depends on two things. One, it's the amount of capital that we have today, so our assets like stocks or property. And second would be our current income stream, through employment or through rental, if we are landlords. I plan to grow my net worth primarily through stocks, and I invest a lot in the US equities market. And over time, as I learn more about cryptocurrency, my weightage in crypto will also increase. My base plan is to double my wealth every 5 years. If you watch my earlier video on the rule of 72, linked up here, if you take the formula of 72 divided by 5 years, you get 14.4. So I need an annual rate of return of 14.4% to double my wealth every 5 years. My stretch plan is to double my wealth every 3 years. With that, 72 divided by 3, that's 24. So I need to find assets that give me a return of 24% in order to double my wealth every 3 years. I believe that can come from growth stocks. I read a saying that if you've got $1 million, that money is yours. If you have $10 million, that belongs to the community. So in the next few years, as my assets continue to grow, I'm also thinking about how I can use the money, which is a resource, to give back to causes that I believe in. I believe strongly in providing economic opportunity to those around us. Today, even when we graduate with a good degree, it is still hard to find a job. Or for some mid-level professionals who work in a company for 10, 20 years, and when they get retrenched, it may be very hard for them to find a job because their industry is going through rapid change. Even reskilling is really tough. And so that's why I believe a lot in providing an economic opportunity. With my current net worth of 1.3 million Sing dollars, that's enough to retire comfortably in countries like Malaysia, where it's worth 4 million ringgit, or in Thailand, where I used to work in for 2 years. Even here in Singapore, with careful planning, I could eke out a retirement. So as we come to a close, share what are your plans to grow your net worth? How do you think about your net worth? What's the current allocation of your net worth? How much of it is property versus stocks versus cryptocurrency? Share them in the comments below. Click the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You can say bye-bye to everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you in the next video.
Video.